Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more exciting details regarding Star Wars Battlefront II, because the D23 panel was just concluded and we got a brand new trailer showing us some behind the scenes details regarding the campaign in Battlefront 2, as well as a few snippets of new gameplay, both of space battles and of the campaign. Apologies if there's a little bit of background noise because I'm currently on vacation, so I'm recording this with my temporary setup. So first of all, they did release a brand new behind the scenes trailer, but I also wanted to mention that John Boyega, who of course plays Finn and will be in the game, also showed up at the end of the panel, and we got our first glimpse of the space battles in the game, because this wasn't included in the full trailer. And as you can see, the UI is quite changed from the last game, and I'm not 100% sure if this is space battles from the campaign or multiplayer, but what struck me is the fact that he actually attacks a rebel corvette, so that is definitely an upgrade from the last game. This time around they won't just be there as background stuff, but you will actually be able to kill them, and they will hopefully be part of the objectives as well. But now over to, of course, the important part, the new trailer. I also want to note that during this trailer they did show a couple of snippets of footage from the movies, simply to give you some context to the stuff they talked about, and some of you tweeted me saying, "Oh, is Coruscant confirmed?" And no, just because they showed movie footage doesn't mean that it's confirmed. I just wanted to quickly mention that because I'm gonna get 1,000 comments about it otherwise. So I'm mostly gonna talk about the new stuff here, both from in-game and details that we didn't know about before, because although it was 4 minutes long, a lot of the footage was recycled from earlier stuff that we've already seen 1,000 times. So first off, it starts off with the rebels who seem to be attacking the Imperials, and we get to see a first-person look of what I think is a TIE fighter, I could be wrong though, from a member of the Inferno Squad, because you can actually see the emblem on the screen there, so I'm assuming that this might be a modified version of the TIE fighter, or it might even be part of the Corvus, you know, Inferno Squad ship. But it gives us a little hint of what we can expect to see in terms of aerial combat in the campaign. And then they talk a little bit about the Imperial side and yada yada, all that stuff you've heard 1,000 times by now. But we get to see our first glimpse of pre-alpha gameplay, and Iden Versio taking out a rebel soldier, and she does this with one of her 3 abilities, which is the shock ability, and it seems like that basically calls to your droid that then goes up and shocks the enemy, and I think it also kills the enemy. But the interesting thing is also to note her other 2 abilities. The first one looks like a thermal detonator, and the second one actually looks a little bit like the thermal imploder. It doesn't have the same exact icon, so I'm guessing it might be a modified version. It might be some sort of imploder, but maybe not a thermal imploder, because having a thermal detonator and a thermal imploder feels a little bit boring to have as 2 of the 3 main abilities in the campaign. However, they have said that you will be able to customize some parts of Iden, so hopefully you can swap out some of these abilities if you want to. And next up we get 2 pieces of new concept art. First off, Endor, and a lot of stuff burning in the background. This kind of reminded me of the Survivors of Endor map that we got to the previous game, so it's probably stuff from the Death Star that's raining down on Endor and so on. And then secondly, we get some concept art from a TIE fighter going through a lot of scrap metal in the space, which is probably parts of the Death Star, which is also what we can see in the original trailer. And next up they talk a little bit about the characters that's gonna be in the Inferno Squad, and they start off with Gideon Hask and show a little clip of him talking to Iden, and he says something like Operation Cinder will continue as planned, and Operation Cinder is actually part of the Empire's contingency plan for when the Emperor died, and it includes the devastation of Naboo, Palpatine's home planet. So that's quite interesting. We might actually get to go to Naboo to fulfill Operation Cinder, and I thought that was pretty cool, as Operation Cinder is something that's already been known about in the Star Wars universe. And Gideon Hask is apparently one of the most invested members in the Inferno Squad, who really cares about the Empire, and it's one of the members I'm really excited to see more about. And the next member they talk about is Del. He has seen the most parts of the galaxy more than most people, and he grew up on Coruscant, and also brings in some humor, because as you can see, he's laughing together with Iden, and I think this might be something that will give us a little bit of a more human look on the Imperials, because usually we just see them with Stormtrooper helmets and that's about it. But seeing 2 members of the Inferno Squad laughing and having fun together might give us a brand new look on this, although they still look quite strict, especially when we get to the next part with Garrick Versio, Iden's father. It looks like the background could potentially be at Fondor. Some of you guessed Coruscant on Twitter, but I think it might be Fondor because we do know from EA Play that some parts will be on Fondor and the shipyard based off the people who played the first mission over at EA Play. And what I thought was really interesting here was how they talked about that Iden doesn't like the order from her father, and you can see in her face during this clip that she's really torn up about something. So I'm not really sure what this order could be. It sounds like it's gonna be something really rough. Maybe they need to kill a lot of innocent people, or he's gonna kill himself together with a part of the army, because something obviously got her upset here regarding this order. So I'm really curious to see what kind of stuff that will be. And lastly, one of the big notable things is this piece of concept art that they bring up while they at the same time say that it will tie into the overall story of Star Wars. And it looks like a brand new coral planet with Luke on it. I'm not sure if this could potentially be part of a planet that we already know about, or if this is a brand new planet that they will reveal in the game. Because if that is the case, I'm gonna be quite surprised, because they've already promoted Vardos as that big new planet that we will see in the campaign. So just having like casually introducing a brand new planet in the background with Luke feels like a quite big deal. So I'm leaning towards the fact that either this is something that will be in The Last Jedi that we will see in the campaign, or it's just a planet we already know about that's showing a new part, because in reality a planet is huge and could have like 1,000 different climates and environments, so it could potentially be that. But yeah, I do think that's all the notable things from this trailer and from the gameplay they showed of the space battles. In case I missed something, feel free to leave a comment below. I will probably revisit this topic in the near future, because I'm sure there's gonna pop up some interviews from D23 and some other details that people have missed. But I think I covered all the major things here that you might be interested in regards to the campaign. And I gotta say, I'm really excited for the campaign, and I'm still kind of debating back and forth what I'm gonna do the first day of the release. Should I just plow through the entire campaign right away? Should I play multiplayer? It's a tough decision, but I'll probably end up playing the campaign first just to make sure I don't get spoiled, and I just want to get it done with basically, because it seems like a really exciting story. But that brings this video to an end. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.